Hi Biology, this is Miss Satterley. I'm going to explain the assignment that posted today. This assignment will be due on Tuesday, and this will be the last assignment that will go on your first quarter grade. So make sure you get it done. Go to the classwork tab. It will show up today. This is the assignment right here. I'm going to interactive. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to take us to the interactive. So here's our pH scale bases, and we're going to come back to this. And now I'm going to click on the activity. So here is the activity. I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger so we can see it a little better. There are 5 parts. Now, it's going to look kind of lengthy. That's just because I have directions written in it. Honestly, there's not that much to do. So part 1, formulating a hypothesis. So you're going to predict whether each substance is an acid, base, or a neutral substance. Now, the substances are these 12 substances right here, and they're in alphabetical order, just for simplicity. So battery acid, blood, chicken soup are a couple examples. I just have a very brief description of what acids, bases, and neutral substances usually have, some characteristics. So acids are sour to the taste, can be caustic, which means they can burn their skin, and they can be found in fruits and vegetables. Bases are bitter to the taste and are traditionally used as cleaning agents. And then neutral substances fall in between the two and may consist mostly of water. So those are supposed to be hints for you to make your hypothesis. Now, as always, a hypothesis does not have to be correct. It can be wrong. You don't know exactly if these substances are acids, bases, or neutrals, but I want you to put what you think. So battery acid. That might be a hint, though, just by the name. So you need to put if it's an acid, a base, or neutral. And you'll just put, say, I think battery acid is an acid. And as always, I want you to do something to your answer just so it sticks out. So I'll just highlight. Okay, so that's what we'll do for that. So that's part 1, make a hypothesis. Part 2, testing pH. Next, test each of the substances and record the pH value in the next section. I have directions on how you're going to test those substances, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So choose the type of liquid that you would like to test from the drop-down box at the top of the simulation. Here's the simulation. Here's the drop-down. Here are the 12 liquids that we are going to test. So I'm going to pick blood. Click on the red dot on the dropper and dispense the liquid into the beaker below. Okay, if I click here, you can see it starts to pour in. Step 3, fill the beaker with the liquid until it reaches a value of 0.25 liters. So over here, you can see it says 0.09 liters at the moment. So if I keep adding, if I get too much, which I did that on purpose, you can come over here and let some out on this side and then add to it. Okay, so the next thing, let's see. Click on the green crosshairs and drag it until it's inside the beaker and the crosshairs are submerged in the liquid. Here's the green crosshairs. I'm going to drag it and put it in the liquid. You can see over here, here's our pH scale. Well, the pH scale consists from numbers 0 to 14. It's split up into acids, neutrals, and bases. An acid is going to be anywhere between 1 and 6. On the assignment, I put 1 to 6.5 because those are actually weak acids. Anything that's neutral is going to be around 7. And then bases have higher pHs, so they're going to be between 8 and 14. So my blood from this scenario is a 7.4. 7.4 is very close to 7, so therefore blood is actually a neutral substance. Record the pH value in the list below. Well, I did blood, so it was 7.40. I'm going to put 7.40, and I'm going to highlight my answer. So I would do that for the other 11 substances. Part 3, determining which substances are acids or bases or neutral. So how you're going to do this one is for each substance below, determine if it's an acid, a base, or a neutral substance based on the pH from part 2. So we use blood. An acid will have a pH between 1 to 6.5. Bases will be between 7.5 and 14. And then neutral, we're going to make 6.5 to 7.5. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is my blood is 7.40. 7.40 is in between 6.5 and 7.5. So for this, we're going to put neutral. And I'm going to highlight my answer. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it green just because that's the color I have there. So I might color code my answers. But that's just me. So you do that for each of them based on the values that you have from part 2. Now part 4. For each of the substances below, tell me whether your original hypothesis was supported by the data or was disproved by the data. Well, I didn't do blood at the beginning, but let's just say I thought blood was an acid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record my hypothesis, and then I'm going to say if it's incorrect or not, but I'm going to do that first. So I have a format here I want you to follow. If it's correct, I want you to put correct dash whatever it is. If you're incorrect, go ahead and copy this right here. So I'm going to copy and paste, and now I'm just going to fill in. So my incorrect hypothesis was acid, but my data is actually telling me that it's a neutral. So you can just copy and paste. You can use what I've given you. You're going to do that for all 12. Last part, I just have a couple questions. So please answer the following questions using the pH basis simulation. So I've given you directions. Choose one acid, base, or neutral substance to test the following. Add 0.25 liters of that liquid that you have chosen to the beaker. Now go to the top and add water to the beaker and fill it up the rest of the way. Then answer what's happened to the pH as a result of adding water. And now you're going to do that 3 times. So what happens to the pH value when you add water to a base? What happens when you add it to an acid? What happens when you add it to a neutral substance? So let's go back. The way you add water is up here. You're going to pull this out. So when I add water, my pH goes down for this substance. It's closer to neutral. So those are a couple things that I would type in to my assignment here. Now, does the water affect the pH value of the substance that much? So in that case, it didn't affect it too much, but you have to wait and see what it does to each one. And then the very last question is, does the pH of the starting substance matter when adding water? Test both a strong acid or base and a weak acid or base. So something that has, say I'm going to do a base for that, something that has a pH of like 13 or 12 would be a strong, and something that's around 8 would be more of a weak. So I'm going to compare what happens when I add water to each one. You can see I have a note at the bottom. You'll get 5 points for completing the assignment all the way. You're going to lose those 5 points if your assignment is turned in incomplete. So that is a completion part of this assignment, your participation part for this. So make sure you're attempting everything and you're doing the entire assignment. This is pretty self-explanatory. I told you how to do everything. As always, if you have a question, you can ask me. I'll be more than happy to help you out, help you figure out what you're doing wrong. So this is the assignment that's posted today because that's when the video is showing up. This is your last assignment for first quarter. So make sure we finish this and we complete this, and it won't be due until Tuesday. Make sure you're not waiting until Tuesday to do it. Okay, try to get it done Monday, or at least start on it, do part of it, so you're not leaving everything to the last minute. Don't forget your quiz is due today. Your homework was due yesterday, so if you turn it in today, it's going to be a late grade. I still have several assignments that have missing assignments, so make sure if you have an assignment that's still blue under missing assignments, so you get that complete. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And that's it. Bye.